Alright, Karina baby, today is the 4th of August. Can you believe it? Mom, I just can't believe it. It is a rainy day. There's a storm going through. There's supposed to be a hurricane, so there is that. I hope that you are at home and that you are safe. I pray for that all the time, actually. Regardless of the storm, I pray for you all the time. I just pray to God that you're okay. Ripe red cherries. Ripe red cherries on the tree. When I grow up, what will I see? 1 for a spaceman, 2 for a witch, 3 for a princess, fair and witch, and rich. 4 for a pirate, 5 for a clown, 6 for a king with the golden crown. Right? So that was the 4th of August with ripe red cherries. Look at this kitten, baby. I know it's kind of dark in my room, but oh my gosh, she's so cute, right? She likes to bite things and attack everything, and she's so good. She's just so... Oh, she didn't have a meow yet. She's just so amazing. I love her so much. I'm so blessed to be where I'm at right now because... There's a doggy here, Abby, who you've seen before, the little black and white doggy, who just wants to be held and loved. And Mama's much like that. I just like to love on everyone and everything around me. So, I just love Abby. And then I love this little Luna right here because she's so good and she likes to be loved and attack everything and do her thing. She's so cute. Alright, so let's see what our next story is. Oh, our next story is Tom Thumb. Here he is. One evening, a poor farmer sat by a hearth, poking up a fire to store up some warmth. His wife sat next to him, spinning thread. "How sad it is that we don't have children," he said. "Here it is always so quiet. In the other houses, it is so noisy and lively." "That is true," sighed the wife. "If we only had one child, even if it were very tiny and not much bigger than my thumb, we would be satisfied and love it with all our hearts." Now, it so happened that the wife's wish was granted. After 7 months passed, she gave birth to a child who was perfect in every way except that he was no bigger than her thumb. "It is as we had wished it to be," she said. "He will be our dear child." And because of his size, they named him Tom Thumb. Although he was given plenty of food, Tom did not grow any bigger, but stayed the same size as the day he was born. However, he had lively eyes and succeeded in everything he did because he was very intelligent. One day the farmer was getting ready to go into the forest to cut wood. "I wish that there was someone who could bring the cart to me," he said to himself. "Oh, father, I will take care of it," cried Tom Thumb. "You can rely on me. The cart will arrive on time in the forest." The man started to laugh and said, "How can that be done? You are too small to lead the horse by the reins." "That doesn't matter, father," replied the lad. "If mother will harness it, I will sit in the horse's ear and tell him where to go." Oh, look at that, how smart and clever he is. He's going to sit in that horse's ear and tell him where to go. Do you think the horse will obey him? We'll find out. "Well, we will give it a try," said the man. When the time came, the mother harnessed the horse and placed Tom Thumb in its ear. From there, he started to shout at the horse, telling it where to go. Sometimes, "Yeah," and sometimes, "Whoa." He handled the horse as if he were a rider, and the cart went straight to the forest. Just as the horse was turning the corner, and Tom Thumb was shouting, "Yeah, yeah," 2 strangers stood in his path. "Well, what have we here?" said one. "The cart is moving, the horse is moving, but we don't see anyone leading it." "There is something not quite right here," explained the other. "Let's follow the cart to see where it stops." The cart drove on to the forest, and he arrived at the exact place where the wood was being cut. When Tom Thumb saw his father, he cried, "You see, father, here I am with the cart. Now put me on the ground." The father held the reins with one hand, and with the other hand he took his son out of the horse's ear, and the little boy sat down happily in the straw. When the two strangers saw Tom Thumb, they were so surprised they did not know what to think. Then one of them took the other aside and said, "Listen, this little fellow could make us a fortune. If we exhibited him for money in a large city, we have to buy him." Then turning to Tom's father, they said, "Sell us this little man. He will be well looked after." "No," replied the father. "He is the apple of my eye, and I would not sell him for all the gold in all the world." Oh, see, that's a good papa right there. He doesn't want to sell his son. He loves his son. Why would he want to sell him? But hearing the proposal, Tom Thumb climbed up the fold of his father's coat, sat on his shoulder, and whispered in his ear, "Father, sell me today, and I will soon return home again." So after a little more talk, his father sold him to the man for a large sum of money. "Where do you want to sit?" asked the man. "Oh, just put me on the rim of your hat. Then I can walk to and fro and look at the countryside without falling off," replied Tom Thumb. They did as he asked, and when Tom had said goodbye to his father, they set off together. They traveled until darkness came, and Tom Thumb then said, "Put me on the ground for a while." "No, stay up there for now," answered the one who carried him. "It makes no difference to me." "No," answered Tom Thumb, "I know my manners. Put me on the ground quickly." The man took his hat off and placed him on the ground near the road. Tom jumped into the thick undergrowth, then suddenly slipped into a mouse hole that he had noticed beforehand. "Goodbye, gentlemen. You can continue your journey without me," he jeered as he disappeared. The man ran towards him and pummeled the mouse hole with his sticks. But it was all in vain. Tom Thumb crept further in as if he were becoming dark. Tom Thumb crept further in, and as it was becoming dark, they could do nothing but return home, angry and with empty pockets. When Tom Thumb could no longer hear their voices, he came out of the hole. "It is dangerous on the ground when it is dark," he said to himself. "I could easily break an arm or a leg. I'd better look for somewhere to rest." Fortunately, he found an empty snail shell. "Thank heavens," he said, "I can spend the night in here safely." And he crept into the shell. A little later on, when he was about to fall asleep, he heard two men pass by. One of them said, "How shall we set about?" "Stealing the rich pastor's silver and gold." "I could tell you that," Tom Thumb shouted. "What was that?" said one thief, trembling. "I heard a voice." They stopped to listen, while Tom Thumb continued, "Take me with you. I will help you." "But where are you?" they cried. "Look on the ground and listen where the voice comes from," he answered. The thieves found him at last and picked up the snail shell. "Listen, little fellow, how do you think you can help us?" they said. "Oh, I can climb into the pastor's room between the window bars and hand out to you everything you want," replied Tom Thumb. "Well, we'll see what you can do," they declared. Soon they arrived at the pastor's house, and Tom Thumb slid into the room through the bars. Oh, look at Tom Thumb and his snail shell that he found. He is a clever little boy. But he is being not so good by helping robbers, right? When he was inside, he started to cry aloud, all his might. "Do you want everything here?" The thieves shuddered and told him, "Shh, talk softly, and as not to wake anyone." But Tom Thumb pretended not to hear them and continued to shout, "What do you want? Do you want everything in here?" The cook, who slept in the room next door, heard the voices. She sat up in bed and listened, but the two frightened thieves had run off. After a while, when they had regained their courage, they said to each other, "The little fellow is trying to get the better of us." They went back to the house and whispered, "Come on, be serious and pass us something." So Tom Thumb started to shout again, so loud that he could, as loud as he could. "Yes, I will give you everything. Come a little closer and put your hands inside." The cook jumped out of bed, and the frightened thieves ran away as if the devil were on their heels. When the cook went into the room, she could not see anything, but put a light on and checked every corner of the house, but she did not discover Tom Thumb. So she went back to bed, thinking she might have dreamed everything. Tom Thumb slipped out of the house and hid in the barn. He climbed into a pile of hay and found a cozy place to sleep. He planned to rest there until the next morning, then return to his parents. But there were still other adventures in store for him. The world can bring a lot of trouble and bad luck, as Tom Thumb would find out the next day. As she did every morning, the cook got up at the crack of dawn to feed the animals. First, she went to the shed, where she took an armful of hay. Oh, what do you think was on the hay? From the exact place where Tom Thumb was sleeping. He was sleeping so soundly that he felt nothing, in fact. He did not wake up until he was in the cow's mouth after she had taken a bite of the hay. "Oh dear," he cried, realizing his danger. "How did I end up here?" The only way to avoid being crushed by the cow's teeth were to slip down into her stomach. Which the tiny lad bravely did. The cow didn't even notice and carried on eating. "They forgot to put windows in this little room," he said when he landed in her dark insides. "The sun doesn't shine in, and it would be difficult to get a candle in here." Tom was very unhappy in his new home, especially as more hay kept arriving. The space around him grew smaller and smaller. In a panic, he started to shout as loudly as he could, "Don't give me any more hay! Don't give me any more hay!" The cook was milking the cow when she heard the voice shouting, but she could not see anyone, although she looked. So she carried on until Tom Thumb cried out again. Suddenly she recognized the voice from the night before, and she was so shocked that she fell from the stool and spilled all the milk. Oh, that's sad. That's really sad. Summer put her foot in the bucket, the pot a couple days ago. We were camping, and she put her foot. I was milking her by myself. She put her foot in, and I'm like, I had to dump all the milk and wash out the container and like refill it up because you can't have her foot in the container that we're milking. So we lost all the milk. Like, I lost all the milk for a little bit. It wasn't even that much milk. It was like only a little bit on the bottom. I was just beginning. But it's sad when you lose everything for the milk. She spilled all the milk after she was milking the cow, right? "Goodness, Pastor, the cow has been talking." Oh, wait. She rushed to her master and cried, "Ah, goodness, Pastor, the cow has been talking." "You are mad," answered the pastor, who nevertheless went himself to the stable to see what was happening for himself. As soon as he had stepped foot in the stable, Tom Thumb started to shout again, "Don't give me any more hay! Don't give me any more hay!" That cow's going to be upset because now she's going to be missing out on her feed. Then the pastor became frightened. Alright, so let's look at this cow who's eating Tom Thumb. It's just a brown cow. It's probably a brown Swiss like we have. Then the pastor became frightened. He thought it was the voice of the devil, and he ordered that the cow be killed. So the cow was slaughtered, and they threw the stomach with Tom Thumb in it in the rubbish heap. Tom thought that now he would be able to escape, but just as he managed to put his head out, another misfortune happened. A hungry wolf that was passing by swallowed the whole stomach in a gulp. Still, Tom Thumb did not lose courage. Maybe the wolf will listen to what I have to say, he thought. And from the wolf's belly, he called, "Dear wolf." Oh, sorry, baby. Maybe the wolf will listen to what I have to say, he thought. And from the wolf's belly he called, "Dear wolf, I know a delicious treat that you will find most enjoyable." "Where can I find this?" answered the wolf, although he found it odd to hear a voice from his stomach. "I will take you there. You will find cake, bacon, sausage, as much as you can eat." Then Tom described his father's house in detail. The wolf didn't need telling twice. That night he found his way to the house and slipped into the kitchen through the hole in the wall. He slinked into the pantry, where he ate and he ate and he ate. When he had eaten his fill, he tried to leave through the hole, but he had gotten so fat that he could not go out the same way that he had come in. Tom Thumb then began to make a terrible uproar in the wolf's stomachs. "Will you be quiet?" said the wolf, growling. "You will wake up the people who live here." "Oh, too bad," replied Tom. "You have eaten your fill. I want to enjoy myself as well." When he began to yell and cry again with all his might, at last his parents were woken up by all the noise. They ran into the kitchen and looked around. When they saw the wolf, the man fetched his axe and the woman grabbed a knife. "Stay behind me," said the man. "I will hit the wolf. Then you cut him into pieces." When Tom Thumb heard his father's voice, he cried, "Dear father, I am here. I am in the wolf's stomach." "Goodness," said his father. "Our dear boy has found us again." But what a way to return home. He told his wife to put down the knife because he was afraid it would harm Tom Thumb in the wolf's stomach. Then he gave the wolf a hard blow to the head, which killed him. All right. There's the wolf. Tom's father picked up a pair of scissors, cut the wolf's stomach open, and rescued his son. "Thank goodness," he said. "We have been so worried about you." "Yes, father, it is good to breathe fresh air again," replied his son. "Where have you been, then?" asked the man. "Ah, father, I have seen much of the world. I have been in a mouse hole, in a cow's stomach, in a wolf's belly. Now I am home with you, which is where I want to stay. And we will never sell you again, not for all the treasures in all the world," declared his parents. They hugged their sweet Tom Thumb for a long time, and from that day on, Tom was far more careful about the journeys he made. Right? Alright, baby. The next one is Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. Alright, let's do some songs. Tomorrow we'll do Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. So let's do "We sit and watch the rain as it falls from the sky, and we are glad to be inside where it is warm and dry. Oh yes, I do love the rain. It keeps the earth so clean and helps the pretty flowers grow from the mountains to the streams. Lila Tove, and good night to you. Lila Tove, may your dreams come true. We sing Lila Tove, may Israel protect you throughout the night. until we reach the morning light. Oh, my baby. You know, I never wanted to leave your side, not a single second. If I had you every single second, every single day. Mama would wake up in the morning and do some things for Papa, get him ready for work, or if it was the weekend, just lay next to you and hold you. And when you would wake up, I'd ask you how you slept and how you dreamt. You'd tell me about your dreams, and I'd pick you up and hold you. My favorite part was holding you first thing in the morning because you grow just a little bit every single night. You really do. The only thing I ever wanted to be was a good mama. My entire life, I wanted 10 babies. Wanted to raise them. I wanted to teach them things. I wanted to be there for them. Mama's not a career woman, baby. I'll never be a career woman, but everything in the end will be okay, I promise you. Everything is going to be okay in the end. It's not over yet. You are only 5, and it's going to be okay. I love you with all my heart, all my mind, all my body, all my soul, all my spirit. I love you, baby. I love you, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you. I think about you all the time. Every second of every day, I'm thinking, this is what I'm doing instead of hanging out with you, taking you places and teaching you things. Mama's heart is broken into a million pieces, honey. It really is. But at least it's still beating, you know? Which means that it gives us time to repair things. Every single cell in your body is fighting to stay alive, and I don't care what you go through or how sad you get, you have to keep moving forward. You have to. Every single cell in your body is fighting to stay alive, and you have to fight to stay alive too. There's worlds inside of your body that you don't even know about that are depending on you to eat good food and drink good water and to do good things to your body. Never drink alcohol, never smoke. Don't destroy your body. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Your brain and your body need you. They need you to be coherent. They need you to be okay. You need to check in with yourself every single day and ask yourself, how am I doing today? And it's okay if you're not doing okay that day. That's completely fine. You have another day, alright? You do. You're going to jump on me. I know you are. Oh. This little kitten is so adorable. Everything gets a chance at having life. This kitten owns its body, right? Just like Mama, the only thing I really own is this, is my body. The only thing you really own is your body. Treat it well. Your body is your temple. God needs to live in a good home. So keep your home good, okay? Karina, baby, I love you. Take joy in your health. Take joy in your surroundings. Take joy in your mind. Take joy in yourself. Because this life is short. Any way you look at it, this life is short, and every moment that passes by is now gone. All these videos I made you, I'm making you every single day. Every single second that goes by is now into the past. I have issues with time. I know I do. I always had issues with time because my papa died when I was 12, and I loved him. I still love him. I love him to pieces. Just like I love my mama to pieces. Your grandmama, she loves you, baby. So does all your aunts and all your uncles and all your cousins. Everyone loves you, honey. You have extended family here that talk about you all the time and miss you and love you too. We all love you, baby. Love is shared. It's not divided. It will always be shared when it comes to Mama. Honey, I love you. I hope that you have a great day.